Here are some 8 memorable limited-time modes in COD Mobile, starting with the most recent. 1. In Season 7 and 8 of 2025, we got the Gulag LTM in Isolated. Eliminated players could fight for a chance to redeploy. It was mediocre. 2. In Season 5 and 6 of 2025, wildcards were introduced in both MP and BR. The wildcards in BR were then removed. All in all, it was a perfect LTM. 3. In Season 4 of 2022, Wild Dogs, there was a special event tied to the theme of the season. The event was called Sandstorm's Eye. You see, in Isolated and Blackout, there was a sandstorm. It limited vision, and there it also made the game dynamic. This event also had whirlwinds that could elevate the player to the sky. The boxes also had cash that players could use at buy stations that were separate from upgrade terminal chips. There were also airflow generators that would generate current to shoot the player to the sky. It was fun, and most players remember the event. Fun fact, this was the first time we would see cash in the game. 4. Unseason 1 of 2022 Heist. To celebrate winter, an event called Snowball Scuffle was launched. This event was both in MP and in BR Isolated. For context, every winter theme some maps are made to look like snow has fallen over. These events carry on to the next seasons, changing the MP maps. However, in Season 1 of 2022, the event also carried over to Isolated. You see, just like in multiplayer, at the platform, players were not allowed to fight using weapons, and all that was allowed was snowballs. 5. In Season 8 of 2021, second anniversary, players were treated to a very memorable event. You see, according to the game's lore, the Federation attacked Isolated. They then proceeded to manufacture and store the deadly nerve gas Nova 6 underground at launch base. The Alliance had to go and push the Federation out and seal the Nova 6 underground. In a huge operation in the night, players were deployed for the mission. Therefore, the entire map of Isolated was in darkness, while jets flew overhead to bomb Federation strongholds. This event was really fun, and for most players, CoDM anniversary events have never been the same. If you never got to experience the second anniversary, you missed out a lot. 6. In Season 7 of 2021, Elite of the Elite, we got an event called Solid Gold. Back then, we did not have base guns as loot that would get complemented with mods. We had different tier guns based on the random attachments. Legendaries that were yellow, they were the highest tier weapons. There were epics and common ones. In this mode, all guns were legendaries. It was right before the change in gunplay that we have now, where base weapons are complemented by mods. 7. In Season 5 of 2021, in Deep Water, the game teased about the Undead Siege zombie mode. In Isolated, the developers put in other crystals all over the map. In Season 6 of 2021, the Heat, Isolated would get tied in with Undead Siege. You see, Isolated would experience a tear in the rift. These rifts would appear in random locations. The rifts could teleport player to different places in the same location. Fun fact, in locations that were taken from the zombie maps, you could even be teleported in the air. 8. In Season 6 of 2020, Once Upon a Time in Rust, there was a game mode that only true OGs remember. The event was called Gold Rush. When Rust was brought into the game, Isolated had an amazing event. You see, in the game, we had an event that players could go around Isolated looking for destructible barrels. These barrels would drop gold bars. Fun fact, in Kill Confirmed, the same event was available. Follow to get my next video on the storyline of COD Mobile.